Welcome back. Today I wanted to go over my general thoughts on PSA and some of the topics that have been discussed lately. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Today I wanted to talk a little bit of PSA, and the first question I had a question based on one of my previous videos, which is if you submit cards through Starstock, are they going to upcharge you if it comes back high dollar value card? So I had to look up max declared value. I watched another YouTube video to kind of get an idea of when does PSA upcharge when you submit cards for grading. I have had 2 submissions come back from PSA and I have not been upcharged. And I realized the reason why is because none of my cards came back with a value of more than $500. So whatever service level I submitted at, and I think I submitted them both at the express level anyway. So I was definitely not going to get upcharged with such a low dollar cards coming back, and most people who watch my channel probably saw the PSA video that I did where I got a lot of PSA 9s. So if you get a PSA 9, you're probably not going to have to worry about upcharges. That's kind of the moral of that story. Again, unless it's just a very rare high dollar card to begin with. And I think that's the first thing I would say is most cards on Starstock that people submitted are probably not those types of cards. Starstock's not really the platform for National Treasures, Panini Contenders, those types of cards. However, lately, I did see a Jalen Hurts National Treasures just sold on Starstock for $1,800. That was a Starstock A card. So it does look like they're moving more into the high-end cards. So this question is definitely relevant. So thank you for this question. And I looked into it, and basically Starstock has said that yes, you will get an upcharge. So for example, I had to look up how this works, and I watched a PSA Collector who puts out some great content. I think he's called Graded Card Collector now. And he gave an example where he sent in a Shaquille O'Neal Topps Gold, and at the time the PSA 10 value was $100. By the time he got it back from PSA, and it did get a PSA 10, it was worth $2,000. So what they did is they upcharged him. He had sent the card in through a bulk submission order, which I believe was maybe $10 to $15 per card. They went ahead and upcharged him to the appropriate service level. So they basically charged him $75 for the service of grading that card. And I believe that the main reason they upcharge you is for the insurance. That now that the card it's suddenly a more valuable asset that PSA has to handle, take care of, ship out, and make sure that they add on the appropriate insurance when they're shipping it back to you. So my understanding is that those are the reasons for the upcharge. And again, if you get a card back that has a much higher value than you had originally declared on your submission to PSA, you will possibly get one of those upcharges. And so the question is, through Starstock, does that happen? And the answer is yes, it does. Currently, we don't know what the max declared value is on lower service levels, lower than Express, because I don't see it on PSA's website. Currently, PSA has Express, Super Express, and Walkthrough, and the max declared value is $2,500 or $2,499, $4,999, and $9,999 for the Walkthrough. They actually have premium pricing too. I was totally unaware of this, but apparently if you have a card that is worth more than $10,000, there's actually a premium option where you will have to pay even more than $600 to grade the card. So that, to me, that is just unheard of. I did not realize that existed until I checked the PSA website today. So I learned something new every day. So that's the answer to that question. I checked my February submission to PSA. I keep track of it on a spreadsheet, and I checked it, and I don't have any cards that, if they came back a PSA 10, would be over $500. So it looks like I'm in the clear. I'm not going to have to worry about any potential upcharges. But according to Starstock, if you do get a card back that does exceed a certain threshold, you will get upcharged. They weren't any more specific than that, so I apologize for that. And I'm sure once orders start to come back, we'll start to find out what those actual charges are. So the main topic I wanted to get into was PSA and the amount of cards that they're grading per month. So several YouTube content creators have pointed out that PSA graded 830,000 cards in the month of September, an incredible amount of cards if you think about it. And actually, it looks like they are doubling their output from April. If you go back to April and you see kind of how many cards they were grading per week, it was around 100,000. If you check today, they're getting close to 200,000 cards per week. So they're essentially doubling their output. So this brought up an interesting question, because when I went to a card show, I talked to a dealer and he said, we'll never see a lower service level than $50 per card at PSA. I also watched another YouTube video which said that we may never see a service level lower than $100 per card. So, and I believe that was echoed at the industry summit as well, that several people were saying that PSA would never charge lower than $100 to grade a card. I think the idea is, why would they, right? At $100 per card, they could probably get all the business they want, and they don't need to deal in lower end cards, maybe cards that people are speculating on, or maybe lower end cards like base non-rookie cards that people just want to get graded, maybe turn around and flip for small dollar profit, or maybe they just want to have those in their collection. So PSA doesn't need to mess with any of that. That's the idea. Now, I watched Northeast Ohio, who puts out some really good content. Definitely, I'm sure most people have seen his videos if you're in the sports card world and the YouTube sports card world, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. And he points out that if PSA is big enough to grade close to 1 million cards per month, why would they scale back and only deal in high-end cards? Wouldn't they go after everything, high end, low end, and offer the appropriate submission levels, service levels for those types of cards? And that was my thought all along. Why wouldn't they offer a bulk service level, or a lower service level, so that people who wanted to speculate, people who wanted to grade their collections that maybe aren't necessarily high end, but they wanted in a PSA label, why wouldn't they offer that service at a low enough price to get that business? If they have a big enough, they've essentially doubled their warehouse, doubled their staff, they've trained all these graders, why would they scale back? Why not go after everything? And that was my thought all along. Northeast Ohio is the first YouTube content creator that I ran across that really put that out there and said, hey, I see them going after everything, and I see them doing it with pricing. So he actually said that he could see the lowest service level being a bulk submission, like they used to have a bulk service level, at maybe $20 per card. Now, will we ever see $9 per card or $12 per card like we did before the boom? And I would say no, probably not. I mean, I think that if they offered a $20 per card service level, they would probably capture all the business that they could want at that price point. I don't think we're going to go back in prices in terms of the bulk pricing, but I do think what we will see a bulk service level, which will be in the $20-ish range. That is my thought, my belief. They're already out, grading close to 1 million cards per month. So not only do I see this happening, I see it happening in the very near future, possibly early 2022 at the latest, maybe in the summer of 2022. But I just don't see, the backlog is what it was. It's not, the backlog didn't grow since April. So they are clearing through that. If they're grading 1 million cards per month, that means that in this last quarter, October through December, they're going to grade about 3 million cards. I would say at that point, they've cleared through most of the backlog, and they can now start to plan for 2022. What service levels are we going to open? What is our competitive pricing going to be? Let's go ahead and go after all the new grading companies that have come on the scene that are trying to capture some of this business. I believe that PSA will try to recapture any business that they've lost, and they're going to do it with lower pricing, and at least temporarily. You know, at least they could lower it temporarily, then maybe raise it later on. But at least, you know, I think that with all of that capacity, why wouldn't they try to get everything? I agree 100% with Northeast Ohio. He put this out there as well. And I had already thought this ahead of time. So to see him put it out in a video, I was kind of, you know, at least I know I wasn't totally crazy, because everywhere else you turn, anybody's going to say, no, why would PSA offer a bulk service level or any kind of lower service level when they can just charge $50 or $100 per card and they're going to get all the business they want? And again, the reason is because they can, because they have the capacity. So that's my thought. That's my argument for why we will see a PSA bulk service level at some point in the future. And I would go so far as to say we're going to see this sooner than any of us think. So curious to hear your thoughts on that. Thanks for watching. Oh, I wanted to point out, so today is Wednesday and the Dodgers are in a wild card game against the Cardinals. So I was able to pick up this nice autographed Corey Seager 2020 World Series picture. So trying to get something up on that wall, on that blank wall. And unfortunately, I'm not a handyman. I need to figure out what I want to do as far as how I'm going to hang this stuff up and exactly how I want it to look. So it's a delayed process. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I appreciate everyone watching. If you like the video, please like it. Please subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you on the next one.